The ghost DNA, the hidden ancestors within us. 1. Introduction, the hidden code. Inside you lives a story older than history itself. A story not written in books, but encoded deep inside your cells. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, carries echoes of beings who once walked the earth, whose names we'll never know. They were human, yet not quite like us. Their faces have faded from memory, but their essence still flows through our blood. Scientists call it ghost DNA. Mysterious fragments of genetic code that don't belong to Homo sapiens, nor to Neanderthals, nor to Denisovans. These traces come from unknown humans. Species that vanished without fossils, without artifacts, without a trace in the soil. And yet, their presence is written into who we are. So who were they? How many kinds of humans have lived before us? And what secrets of our origins still hide in the silent depths of our DNA? Maybe our story didn't begin with us. Maybe we are just the continuation of something far older. Something that refuses to be forgotten. 2. The known family, the human tree. To unravel this mystery, we first need to look at the branches we already know. Over millions of years, evolution shaped a family of humans. Not a straight line, but a sprawling tree. There was Homo habilis, the clever toolmaker. Homo erectus, the tireless traveler who left Africa long before us. The tiny Homo floresiensis, the hobbit from Indonesia, barely a meter tall. And Homo luzonensis, recently found in the Philippines, another unexpected relative. Then came the Neanderthals, the strong, intelligent survivors of Ice Age Europe. And the Denisovans, known from only a handful of bones and teeth found in a Siberian cave. Yet their DNA tells a much larger story. Each of them left their mark on the world and, in some cases, on us. When modern humans migrated out of Africa around 60,000 years ago, we didn't travel into an empty world. We entered one already inhabited by others. Encounters happened, brief, rare, but powerful. And sometimes, love, or survival, bridged the gap between species. For decades, scientists believed these were the only actors in the human story. But the deeper we looked into our genome, the stranger the picture became. 3. The discovery of the ghost DNA. Around 2019, geneticists at Stanford and the Max Planck Institute made a startling discovery. When comparing modern human DNA with Neanderthal and Denisovan sequences, they found fragments that didn't match any known species. Something or someone else had been part of our family tree. In Africa, populations carried segments of DNA so ancient they couldn't be traced to any identified lineage. In Papua New Guinea and Melanesia, people had up to 2 to 3% Denisovan DNA. But an additional portion came from another, totally unknown ancestor. Even more shocking, about 19% of Denisovan DNA itself seems to have come from an earlier species. One that left no fossils, no tools, no record. It's as if an entire chapter of humanity was erased. And all that remains are genetic whispers. So scientists began asking, who were these invisible ancestors? Some called them ghost populations, humans who lived, evolved, and vanished, without leaving bones behind. For the lost humans, what could they have been? Who were these ghosts of our past? One theory suggests they were archaic human species still undiscovered. Survivors from isolated regions of Africa or Asia, living and dying without ever being found. Another theory envisions hybrid lineages, the product of rare encounters between different human kinds. These hybrids may have thrived for a time, before fading into the tides of evolution. Some might have been descendants of Homo erectus, who wandered the world nearly 2 million years ago. Others could belong to lineages so ancient they split from the human family before Neanderthals even existed. And here's a haunting thought. What if they had culture? What if they spoke, sang, and dreamed as we do? But their voices were erased before they could reach us? Perhaps they told stories around their own fires, watched the same constellations we see tonight, and wondered who they were. We like to think of humanity as a single, inevitable path. But the truth may be that we are the last survivors of a once crowded world of minds. 5. Beyond bones, DNA is a time machine. For centuries, fossils were our only map of the past. But DNA changed everything. It became our time machine, allowing us to travel where fossils can't. Each fragment of genetic code is like a message from another time. A record of ancient meetings, migrations, and moments when lives intertwine. Today, using techniques like ancient DNA mapping and genomic reconstruction, scientists can recreate the genetic fingerprints of beings who lived tens of thousands of years ago. They can even estimate when and where their DNA entered ours, like tracking the ghost of a handshake made 50 millennia ago. And every year, new analyses reveal more surprises. Unclassified genes that hint at entire lineages still unknown to science. It's as if our genome is a library of lost worlds, each gene a page written by someone who once lived, and whose story still echoes within us. We're not reading history anymore. We're listening to it through the code that defines us. 6. Reflection, who are we, really? So, who are we? Not pure Homo sapiens, but a living mosaic. A chorus of vanished voices. Each of us carries thousands of genetic echoes from people who no longer exist. A woman in Nigeria might carry fragments of an unknown African species. A man in the Pacific might carry the memory of a Denisovan ancestor. Together, we are a living archive of the entire human world that once was. Maybe the real fossil of humanity isn't buried in the ground, but flowing in our blood. And perhaps, by decoding the ghost DNA, we're not just uncovering our past. We're rediscovering what it means to be human. We are not alone in our history. We never were. Every cell we carry is a memorial to countless lives that shaped us. If our DNA remembers them, maybe it's time we do too. And when you look in the mirror, remember, you're not just seeing yourself. You're seeing the reflection of 1,000 forgotten ancestors who still live inside you. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe.